What is up, guys, and thanks for tuning in to Vitamin D TV. I'm Vitamin D, and today we are back at my favorite fishing location of all time. We are back here at Santa Rosa Ranch, where the last time we came, we were shooting for big bass. We were shooting to break that PB, and I may have come close, but my scale was acting a little funny. And this time I'm meeting the guy who actually told me about this place, and he's out here already been fishing. He said he's only caught a few small ones, but we're gonna show up and see what we can do. So the last time I was here, like I said, my scale was acting a little funny. I was using this cheap Tsunami scale, and I caught a pretty big bass. To me, I thought it was about 3.5, maybe closer to 4. That scale only read that it was 1 pound. So I told myself I had to get a good scale. Here we have the Rapala. This is a high contrast scale, and this thing should do the trick. It's very expensive for just a fish scale. It's 44 bucks at Dick's, and maybe a little bit more expensive at places like Bass Pro Shops. But we got this bad boy. I've already put some batteries in it, and we're gonna see if it can actually put some accurate numbers on those fish. Also, I went ahead and bought a few more frogs because the last time we were here, the fish were slurping down the frogs, and we broke off a few. Also, we're gonna try and use some bigger baits. Last time I used a pretty big swim bait, and I had 2 strikes on it, but the fish weren't fully committed on those strikes, and I couldn't land those fish. So I got some 10-inch culprit watermelon red curly tail worms. We're gonna try those out on the bottom, and we're also gonna try and throw a couple jigs and see if we can't entice those fish to bite maybe some slower moving baits. We caught quite a few fish last time. We're gonna go for size again, hoping to break that PB. You guys stay tuned, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's go. All right, guys, I came a little bit more prepared this time. I actually took the time out to straighten out my tackle box. So that's some of my terminal tackle right there. But here's what we're gonna start with. I always like starting with top water. That's a common move for bass fishermen. Typically early in the morning for those guys. We got that frog. Then we got this 10-inch watermelon red curly tail worm, and we're just fishing it Texas rigged with that bullet weight. Let's get out there. That's a 3/8 ounce, and I got a 12 to 15 pound fluorocarbon leader on both of those. We're gonna start with that top water frog and see what we can do. Philip over here, he's got his little setup. He just caught him a nice sized bluegill. He's fishing some crickets. See, they're a nice hand size. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're gonna get back in these ponds. He's fishing this guy over here. Oh, he threw him back. He's fishing that guy over here. I had the most luck in this one and that one. So there's like 11 ponds out here, and there's a bigger one over on the other side, and then on the far end of the property, way over here somewhere, there's a huge pond. But we're gonna start in this one. We're gonna move over to that one, try some frogs. If it's too slow of a bite, we'll switch to that worm, that big worm. So y'all stay tuned. See if we can't make one of these guys mad with this frog. And it's already hot out here, guys. It's already hot. So already I can tell that the bite is slower today, and the water is different. So you're always gonna have different conditions no matter where you fish, and you're just gonna have to overcome those obstacles. So today we got overcast skies, and the water is stained from those afternoon showers that we've been having. The last time I was here, we had bluebird skies. It was super sunny. It was super clear water also. So it hadn't rained in a few days or maybe a couple weeks, and the water was super clear, and the fish were all moving and chasing bait, and it was super easy for me to spot those, not only spot those fish, but also for the fish to locate my bait. So today it's definitely going to be a little bit tougher, and we're going to have to figure out a pattern, but I'm confident that we have everything we need in order to figure out a pattern, and we will get it done. So we'll just keep fishing and make something happen. There's a small fish. There's our first fish to get the monkey off our back. Let's get him back in the water. Tiny guy, tiny, tiny. So last time I was here, I could see a lot of fish moving along the bank here and also in this other pond. They were just cruising. It's what you call cruising bass. They were just cruising up along the bank looking for bait fish to ambush, and I was getting fish left and right. It doesn't look like they're moving like that today. There are smaller fish sitting along the bank feeding, but all the bigger fish are probably out deeper. So I'm gonna finish up fishing with this frog, and then we'll go back and get my my other rod, and then we're gonna try that Texas rig here soon, that big worm, see what happens. Gotta love the smell of that bass on your hands. Let you know you're doing something, that you're actually fishing, you know. I gave it a shot. It's hard to just put the frog down and not fish with it, but we got to do what we got to do in order to create a pattern and try and get on some of these fish. I've had plenty of strikes with the frog. They're not committing to it all the way like I would like them to. It's just time to switch it up. So we're gonna go grab that worm, put it out there in the middle, and then just slowly drag it back and see if we can't get on some of these fish, because I know they're in there. It's just getting out to them and making them eat, seeing what they want. So let's go. We're switching up baits. Woo! All right, guys, we're switching to our large worm, 10-inch culprit, watermelon red curly tail worm with a 3/8 ounce bullet weight. You can tell how it gets his name. And I think that's a 3/0 EWG hook. And that EWG stands for extra wide gap. So you can guarantee your hookup, or it raises your chances for hookup. All right, guys, so we're just casting it way out, way out. And I know you want to fish parallel with the bank with certain baits, but this is a different technique where you just cast way out. You let it sink to the bottom with that Texas rig, and once it hits the bottom, you just reel up your slack, kind of wait, and then just give it a few bounces. So all you want to do is just lift your rod tip, reel down, and then lift your rod tip again. And that bait is just going to hop along the bottom back towards you, and those fish are going to see it and they're going to pick it up. So usually I'll give it a few hops, then I'll reel back down and I'll wait, and I'll just repeat. Oh my God. Damn. Just missed a strike. Oh my God. I should have put more oomph in it. That fish hit so hard. I think there's another one. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I thought, oh man. Guys, I had a fish at first. He picked it up, he dropped it. Picked it up again, felt him munching on it, set the hook. I didn't set it hard enough. I think my worm got tangled up in something down there and we got hung up. We're gonna get tied up. I kind of want to fish this pond right here. I kind of want to fish this one and see what's in there. Not because I just got that bite, but because I feel like there might be some good fish in there. So we're gonna go get tied on, and I'm gonna bring both rods this time. I'm gonna tie up some different baits. Let's see what happens. So I took off the frog off of my favorite rod, and I put on this jig, and I put a bandito bug on there for a trailer. I could run it without a trailer at all, but I want to give a little larger presentation. to try and get those bigger bites. And then on this other one, the one that I broke off on, I went ahead and switched worms. I went with a little bit smaller presentation on this, but the water stained, so I want to go with a little bit darker bait. I went with this black culprit, and it's just a curly tail culprit worm, and it's a 7.5 inch, a little bit smaller than that 10 inch, and it's not as fat. So we did get a few strikes on that big worm, that 10-inch worm, but we are going to change it up and just try and mix it up, so see if we can figure out a pattern on these fish. So let's see what happens. Little guy with the flipping jig. Dude, I just casted it out, brought it back, and then I didn't want to get it tangled up in this grass. I tried to hop it over the grass, and then when it fell in right here on the bank, this fish ate. Another little bass, trying to get on some bigger ones, but he wanted that bandito bug. All right, guys, I see a bed right here. I didn't see it this morning because the wind was blowing real hard, but there's definitely a bed right here, and I saw about a 2-pound bass. I'm gonna flip on over in there. Actually, I'm gonna flip past it and then bring my jig back. I have a jig with a bandito bug on it, and we're gonna roll up on it and see what happens. Okay, I'm right on the bed right now. Got my bait just chilling. Oh, he's going after, oh man. He almost ate. He dashed at that thing so fast. Okay, I see a small bass and a bigger bass. All right, so we're gonna work on this fish. I didn't plan on bed fishing, but the bite's super slow, and we're gonna try and make something happen here. There he is, going after it. Oh man, he got it. That quick. Oh man, nice. That fish did not want that jig on its bed. Look at this guy. Calm down, buddy. He chucked that jig. There you have it. That fish did not like that thing being on its bed. And there's another fish. Looks like another fish about the same size as this guy. We're gonna get a weight on this fish just to see how good this scale works. So I got my brand new Rapala. We're gonna see how good this thing works. So this is a high contrast. When it's sunny days, you see I got it zeroed out. All right. 1.89 it looks like, 1.87. So almost a 2-pound bass. Whoa, almost a 2-pound bass there. The last time I was here, those fish must have been 3 pounds or more. So shout out to Rapala with the nice scale. We're gonna get this guy back in the water. Just a nice little toss. And that fish is off. Heck yeah. Guys, that was crazy. It's almost July and those fish are still spawning. That was very, very weird. I mean, some fish are just late spawn, but you never know. You never know. Gotta look for those light spots in the water, especially the ones closer to the bank. That'll show you where those beds are. If you see a bed, just put something in there. See if you can get them to bite. They're either gonna be sitting right on the bed or they're gonna be close by. All right, we're over here by this little dam. This is where all the water runs off. It goes into a little creek. But last time I was over here, I got bit off by a bass coming straight up off of here. He came out of nowhere and broke my frog off. This would be the perfect place for fish to hang out. Got moving water. Oh, I just got nailed. So this is a flipping and pitching jig. Trying to get it right over here. Whoa! That fish just came out of nowhere. Didn't even have him hooked, really. That was crazy. Hang on, little buddy. Dude, I was just picking my bait up out of the water and this guy came and got it. That's like the second or third time that's happened today. Get on in there. Didn't even have that fish hooked. He just held on to it until he hit the bank. Crazy. He hit that thing right off of that ledge as I was reeling it in. Another small fish. Dude, he hit that thing running. I thought that was a much larger fish. He hit that thing running. I mean, running. I had to catch up to this fish. Good thing that reel's got a good gear ratio. But it's just a small dink. Another small one. Like I said, the small fish are biting. But we're gonna keep fishing. Y'all stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go. Oh man. Oh man. We may have figured him out, boys. We may have figured him out, boys. Oh man, so we're here on the other side of this bank where there's less traffic. Hang on, bro, I'm gonna get you off. All right, there you go, another small bass. Look at his stomach, dude. You know that guy's hungry. Another small bass. He's healthy, but he's hungry. Let's get him back in the water. The smaller fish are eating. We are over here on the back side. I crossed over to this little dam right here, and we're on the other side that probably doesn't get fished a lot. So there's less pressure, and these fish are hungry on this side. Let's see what happens. That was 2 for 2. All right, I got a pocket full of baits. We're gonna re-up on our baits. Got a fresh battery in, and I gotta just say, what's cool about this place is that there's so many ponds in a small area, and they're all nice sized ponds, don't get me wrong. But if you don't like what's going on in one pond, you can just turn 180 degrees and make a cast into the next pond. I mean, check this out, look at this. Here's a pond behind me. If I don't like what's going on over there, look, watch this. Boom, completely different pond, completely different fish, 2 different water types. I mean, you got stained water here, and it's always stained in that one. This water's clear, but it's got a dark bottom, dark murky bottom. There's another pond right here on the other side. That pond is clear through and through. It's got a sand bottom. They all have different characteristics. All the fish are gonna act different. So if fish aren't biting in one pond, you can easily just switch to the other pond right there and see what you can do. You don't necessarily have to figure out a pattern for each pond. If you want, you can focus on one pond, and I guarantee you can figure them out. I'm gonna stick with this one for a little while because I've had the best success in this one. So we're gonna see what happens. Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna get back to fishing. Guys, same thing. Pulling it out of the water, and they're right there at the bank. These fish are just crazy. Another small one, but a fish nonetheless. They're fun to catch. They're hitting it as I'm pulling it out of the water. Let's get him back. They are munching on this jig with the bandito bug. I'm gonna have to switch this. So that's like a red gold head with like a pumpkin blue. And this is a green pumpkin red or a watermelon red bandito bug. We got more of these in my pocket. I'm gonna put another one of these on. You can see they tore it up. And we're gonna keep fishing with this guy. That seems to be the trick. We've pretty much figured them out with the jig. And there they are. Guggen baits, watermelon red, bandito bug. Go get you some. Casting right parallel with that bank. Sometimes you want to let that, is that a fish? Sometimes you want to, oh man. Okay size fish. There we go. Man, sitting there trying to talk and tell you guys how I'm doing this, and he couldn't stand it. Whoa, something took the tails. Something took both craws off of this fish. I don't think it was this. I don't think it was him. But I had gotten 2 other strikes before him. Another healthy bass. Probably a 1-pounder. Not much more. Another healthy fish, guys. Let's go. We're gonna send this guy back on his way. Sitting there trying to tell you guys how I was fishing this bait and that guy just kind of blew up on it. But we'll swap that bait out and we'll get it back out there for those bass. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna hook up with something big here in a minute. It is 2:51, so we're working on that afternoon bite and they should start picking up here any minute. I mean, we got the small fish biting, they're all riled up. They're pretty much always riled up, but we're gonna stay on them and we're gonna try and get those bigger bites. Jig fishing, let's go. Another pond, another bass, ain't that crazy? So we're fishing a tiny pond over here. Got some greenish stained water, and I just saw all this brush and stuff in the pond right here, and I just knew there would be fish on it. I flipped my jig to the right and nothing. Flipped it right there in the middle, let it sink, let it sit for a second, gave it a twitch. It just started swimming off to the side, and this guy just had to have it. I just saw another flash from a fish. We're gonna let this guy go and we're gonna flip it back in there and see what happens. There you go, little buddy. This Guggenbait's jig is getting it done. A lot of structure for those fish to hide up under. Perfect place to flip a jig or something like that. Oh man. Guarantee you there's fish all up under there. Small bass. I can see bait over here hitting the top. Figure there's got to be something under them chasing them. Little dinks. Well, that was a rather interesting catch. Threw my jig over into that tree over there. Got it tangled up in the limbs, let it drop into the water. Did the old dangle on him. That guy had to have it. Appreciate that, buddy.
He sucked that down, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he had to have it. Well guys, that's pretty much what it's been all day. I think I'm gonna switch over to this last big pond that I started on the last time I was out here and see what we can't do. Hopefully there's bigger fish biting over in that pond. If they're not, we've still had a good day. We both caught quite a few fish. He's over there snapping pictures. I'm gonna re-rig and then we're gonna hit that big pond and see what we can do. Y'all stay tuned. We found yet another pond on this property. Look at this. They're just scattered all over this property. We're trying to find them. Trying to finish the day out, trying to find them. Oh man, that's a big bass. First cast on the 10-inch worm. Big bass. Oh, get up here, you tank. Get up here, you tank. Oh, baby. First cast on the 10-inch worm in the small pond that we just discovered. Unreal. All right, guys, we got this nice bass right here. We're gonna get a weight on this fish. We're gonna let this fish go. We hooked it kind of deep. It choked that 10-inch worm. Man, she was jumping clean out of the water. Let's get the scale on her. All right, we're zeroed out. All right, let's go. 2 3/4. 2.79, 2.77. So 2 3/4 pound bass, almost a 3-pound bass Let's get this fish back in the water where it belongs. I appreciate you, old gal. That fish is tired. She lost a little bit of blood. We're gonna let her breathe. There she goes. Our biggest fish of the day came on a 10-inch watermelon red curly tail culprit worm. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe. We're gonna see if we can't bust out one more 2 3/4 fish. We're gonna try and beat it. If we can't, it's been a great day. All my new subscribers, I appreciate you watching. There's plenty more content to come, and we're gonna keep this party rolling. Let's go. Vitamin D TV, thanks a lot. God.
No,
Oh, no. Oh my. Oh no. Dude.
No.
No.
Please don't.
No.
Please don't.
Oh my God.
It's a good thing you didn't get it.
Yeah, pick your baits up. This guy's over here eating the soft plastics. What is going on? Come on, buddy, you can't. Oh man.
I thought he had the hook, and
I thought he was gonna take off with that plastic in his mouth.